Morning. Don't know where you are, but where I am. It's early. The world's still stretching, the coffee's hot, and the signals are already coming in. Let's take a look before the day starts making demands. This is Signal Check with Adrian North. So, 4 major botnets just got taken down. And when I say major, I mean the kind that were launching hundreds of thousands of attacks. The US, Germany, and Canada coordinated to dismantle the command infrastructure behind Isuru, Kimwolf, Jackskid, and Mossad botnets, networks that had been hijacking Internet of Things devices to launch massive distributed denial-of-service attacks. Here's the scale we're talking about. Isuru alone issued over 200,000 DDoS attack commands. Kimwolf, 25,000. Jackskid, 90,000, is what script kiddie operations. They're crippling internet infrastructure, overwhelming cloud mitigation services, taking down ISPs and everything downstream. The Justice Department seized the control servers, cutting off the botnet's ability to communicate with infected devices. Akamai, one of the private firms involved, put it bluntly, these attacks can overwhelm even high-capacity cloud defenses. And here's what matters. Your router, your security camera, that smart doorbell, if it's connected and poorly secured, it could have been part of this. IoT devices are still the wild west of cybersecurity. Default passwords, no updates, wide open. This takedown buys us time, but it doesn't fix the underlying problem. Those devices are still out there. A French Navy officer went for a jog on the deck of an aircraft carrier and accidentally told the entire internet exactly where France's nuclear-powered flagship was heading. The Charles de Gaulle is en route to the Middle East. Sensitive mission, sensitive location. This officer logged his run on Strava, and because the app defaults to public, his workout route went live for anyone to see. Coordinates and all. Now, this isn't the first time Strava's been a security headache for the French military. Back in 2024, Le Monde tracked President Macron's movements by finding his bodyguard's public workout data. You'd think after that the message would have gotten through. The French armed forces told Le Monde the officer's behavior does not comply with current guidelines, which is military speak for someone's getting a very awkward conversation. But here's the thing. It's not just the military. If you're logging runs or bike rides, check your privacy settings. You might be broadcasting more than your split times, and every has to go through certain. They didn't respond to requests for comment, but maybe it's time to rethink that default to public setup. Alright, so there's a cyber attack story this week that's a little all over the place. The summary mentions a car breathalyzer company getting hit, drivers getting stuck, but then the details pivot hard into the FBI buying location data and Iranian hackers sending death threats. Let me untangle this. The FBI has been purchasing commercial location data to track Americans, which Senators Wyden and Lee are trying to ban with new legislation. The Justice Department also seized 4 domains linked to a group that's been threatening Iranian dissidents and journalists in the US. And then there's a separate story about a Meta AI agent that leaked internal company and user data after an employee used it for a question. So what's the thread here? It's all about data getting into the wrong hands, whether that's the government bypassing warrants by buying it from brokers, hackers using infrastructure to intimidate people, or AI tools accidentally exposing what they shouldn't. The breathalyzer angle. If drivers with court-ordered ignition interlock devices got locked out because the company's systems went down, that's the human cost. You can't start your car because someone on the other side of the world decided to launch an attack. It's a reminder that cybersecurity failures don't just mean stolen data. They mean real people stuck in parking lots, unable to get to work. Pinterest's CEO just called for a global ban on social media for anyone under 16. Bill Reddy wrote an op-ed in Time, saying kids today are living through the largest social experiment in history, given unfiltered access to platforms that were built without enough thought about what they do to developing brains. And the research backs them up. Rates of depression, anxiety, attention problems, all up. Reddy praised Australia for banning social media for minors, and said if tech companies won't prioritize youth safety, other governments should follow suit. Malaysia, Spain, and Indonesia have already announced similar bans. He pointed out that industries like tobacco and alcohol have restrictions for a reason, because they can harm kids. And he said Pinterest has actually thrived with Gen Z even after blocking users under 16 from its social features. But here's my take. A government ban always works, right? Without addressing the fundamental problem, a ban is just the government saying, hey, we're doing some work, without actually solving the issue. It's like putting on a bandage when you have a headache, useless other than showing effort. If the platforms are the problem, redesign them. If parents need tools, build better ones. If kids need digital literacy, teach it. A blanket ban might feel like action, but it's also a convenient way to avoid the harder work of actually fixing what's broken. And finally, Courtney Dauwalter. Ultra running's biggest name was supposed to race in the Canary Islands, but snow wrecked that plan. So she made a last-minute detour to Tuscany, showed up at a race in Chianti, and won anyway. She crossed the finish line Saturday in 11 hours, 31 minutes, and 55 seconds. First woman 10th overall. It was her first race of 2026, and she looked, by all accounts, in absolutely fine shape. She's gearing up for the Cocodona 250 in May, where she had a rare DNF last year. If this performance is any indication, she's ready to settle that score. And honestly, if you're a top athlete, you can just kind of show up and win a race, I guess. Always an impressive performance, but that's what separates the best from everyone else. Adaptability, consistency, and the ability to turn a travel mishap into a victory lap. That's Signal Check for today. Close the tabs, step outside, the day is waiting. We'll talk again next time.